Hello everyone. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to solve some commonly asked questions in mathematics and physics for nursing school entrance exam. Now, if you are new to this channel, you can click the subscription button so that you get notification whenever I upload a new video. So we have questions we are going to deal with here. Let's start with question number 1. Now, in question number 1, it says in the diagram, line QR is equal to 10 meters, line SR is equal to 8 meters. Then angle QPS is equal to 30 degree, angle QRP is equal to 90 degree, and line PS is equal to X. Find the value of X. So we are considering this diagram here. Okay, so now if you look at this diagram, you will discover that this triangle PQR is a right angle triangle. PQR is a right angle triangle. And whenever one angle is given in a right angle triangle, then you are going to, let me introduce you to what we call SOHCAHTOA. Okay. Let me introduce you to SOHCAHTOA. Now, how do you make use of this SOHCAHTOA? Now, SOHCAHTOA here means this S is sine of an angle. So we say that sine of an angle is equal to opposite all over hypotenuse. So that is opposite all over hypotenuse. Then the CA here means cos or cosine of an angle, which is equal to adjacent all over hypotenuse. Then the TOA here means tangent of an angle, which is equal to opposite all over adjacent. So now these are the three ratio of angles that we have. So now looking at this, how do you apply this now? How do you apply this to solve this question here? Now, if you look at this question, where this angle is facing is the opposite. So this angle 30 degrees is facing this 10 meters. So we can call this opposite of this angle. You can see where the arrow is going there. Now, the longest side of this right angle triangle is called the hypotenuse, and there is nothing given in that hypotenuse. So we are going to ignore any ratio that has hypotenuse, like this sine now. Sine has hypotenuse, cosine has hypotenuse, tangent does not have hypotenuse. So we are going to make use of this. Okay. So how do you apply that? Now, remember that tangent is what? Is the ratio of an angle there. So that 30 degree now, we are going to take it to be tan 30, which is equal to opposite all over adjacent. So this is the opposite. The opposite is 10 meters. So we can say 10 all over. Now this is the adjacent. From P to R is the adjacent. Now this line QS, has bisected that adjacent, has divided the adjacent into two. So one is X and one is 8. So we are going to add this X to this 8 to give us the full length of the adjacent. So the adjacent is going to be X plus 8. Okay. So now at this point, we can find the value of tan 30. Now tan 30 will give you 0.5774. That's the value of tan 30. Now, if tan 30 is 0.5774, which is equal to 10 all over x plus 8. So at this point, we can make this 0.5774 a fraction by dividing it by 1. Now we can cross multiply this. Okay, so if we cross multiply this 0.5774 by this x plus 8, we are going to have 0.5774 times x plus 8 equal to, cross multiply 10 by 1. 10 times 1 will give us 10. So now at this point, we are going to multiply this 0.5774 by x and also multiply it by this 8. So 0.5774 times x, that will give us 0.5774x plus 0.5774 times 8, that's going to give us 4.62, 2 decimal places, which is equal to 10. Okay, so now at this point, to get the value of x, we need to subtract 4.62 from both sides. Or you can simply say, carry this plus 4.62 and cross over to this side. You know, when positive crosses equality sign, it becomes negative. Okay, so we are going to have 0.5774x equal to 10 minus 4.62. Now, 0.5774x is equal to 10 minus 4.62. That will give us 5.38. So at this point, we divide both sides by 0.5774. Divide here by 0.5774. So this will cancel this. So x is equal to, now divide this number here, we are going to get 9.32 meters. So x is equal to 9.32 meters. Okay, so that's question number 1. Now let's look at question number 2. Question number 2 says, convert 77 to number in base 2. Convert 77 to number in base 2. Now, to convert a number to base 2, you must make sure that the number is in base 10. So 77 is in base 10, so we can convert it to base 2. So what you simply do is to divide that 77 by 2, since you are converting it to base 2. So we are going to divide 77 by 2. So 2 goes into 77, that will give us 38 remainder 1. 2 goes into 38, that will give us 19 remainder 0. 2 goes into 19, that will be 9 remainder 1. 2 goes into 9, that's 4 remainder 1. 2 goes into 4, that is 2 remainder 0. 2 goes into itself, that's 1 remainder 0. 2 goes into 1, that is 0 remainder this 1 that 2 cannot go into. So when you get down to this 0, you cannot divide again. So you can now pick your answer. Now your answer should start from the bottom to the top. So you start from the bottom to pick your answer. So that shows that 77 base 10 is equal to 1001101 base 2. So that is question number 2. Now let's look at question number 3. Question number 3 says, simplify log square root of 27 all over log square root of 81. Now, to simplify this, we are going to rewrite this square root of 27 as log 27 raised to power 1 all over 2 all over log 81 raised to power 1 all over 2. Now, another way of writing square root of a number, if I'm to write square root of a like this, now another way of writing that will be a raised to power 1 all over 2. So when you want to write a square root, you can write it as the number raised to power 1 all over 2. So now, the next thing you are to do is to bring this log 27 and log 81 to equal base. So let's bring this log 27 and log 81 to equal base. Now, 3 raised to power 3 will give us 27. So I'm going to write this log as log 3 raised to power 3. Already we have power of 1 all over 2. So multiply this 3 by 1 all over 2 all over log. Now this 81 now, 3 raised to power 4 will give us 81. So I'm going to have 3 raised to power 4, then multiply by this 1 all over 2. Okay, so that will be equal to, now we have log. Now here we have 3. Now 3 times 1 all over 2. 3 times 1 is 3 all over 2 all over log 3. Now 4 times 1 is 4 all over 2. Now 4 divided by 2 will give us 2. Or you can simply say this 2 cancel this 4. That's 2 times. So 2 times this 1, that will give us power of 2 there. So that will be equal to, now if you look at this numerator and denominator, they are now log 3 and log 3. So we can cancel the base and solve for the power. So let's say log 3 cancel log 3. So here we are going to have 3 all over 2 divided by 2. So this 3 all over 2 is a fraction, but this 2 is a whole number. So we can make this whole number all over 1 so that it also becomes a fraction. Now fraction divided by fraction, now this is what you are going to get. We are going to have 3 all over 2. Now this division sign here will turn to times, then 1 will go up, 2 will come down. So that will give us 1 all over 2. So we can multiply 3 times 1, which is 3 all over 4, 2 times 2, which is 4. So that is our answer. Now question number 4. Question number 4 says, find the ninth term of the arithmetic progression 18, 12, 6, 0, minus 6. Okay. Now you first of all need to know the nth term of an AP. Nth term of an AP is given as A plus open bracket n minus 1 close bracket d. So this is the nth term of an AP. So in this question, we are asked to find the ninth term. So this n now becomes 9. Okay. So we can say that the ninth term is equal to A plus open bracket n minus 1 close bracket d. Now what is this A? A means first term. Now the first term is the first number that you have here. That's the first term. So we can say that A is equal to 18. Now, what is the value of this n? N is the number of terms. So we are asked to find the 9th term. So n is 9. So we can say that n is equal to 9. Then what about this d? D is the common difference. So how do you get the common difference of an AP? By saying the second term minus the first term. So the common difference is going to be second term is 12. So that will be 12 minus the first term is what? 18. So 12 minus 18, that will be minus 6. So the common difference is minus 6. So we can now plug in these values into this formula. So the 9th term is going to be equal to, the first term is what? 18 plus, open bracket, n is what? N is 9. So we plug in 9 there, minus 1, close bracket, times what? Minus 6. Okay. So at this point, we are going to say 18 plus 9 minus 1, that will give us 8 times minus 6. Okay. So we have 18. Now minus 6 times 8. Let's say 6 times 8. That will give us 48. So that 48 is negative 48. So let me put it this way. Negative 48. So now you see we have plus and minus here. So plus times minus will give us minus. So that will give us 18 minus 48. So 18 minus 48, that is going to give us negative 30. So the 9th term is minus 30. That's the answer. So now, go over to question number 5. Now, question number 5. Let's see what we have in question number 5. Okay, question number 5 is a physics question. Okay, so let's see what we have. Now, let's see the question. A student found out from a simple pendulum experiment that 20 oscillations were completed in 38 seconds. What is the period of oscillation of the pendulum? So we are asked to calculate the period of oscillation of the pendulum. Now, period of oscillation is actually represented by letter T. Period means time. So the period of oscillation is given as time taken all over number of oscillation. Time taken all over number of oscillation. Now from the question, the time taken to complete this 20 oscillation is what? 38 seconds. So we can say that T is equal to 38 seconds. Then the number of oscillation is equal to what? 20 oscillations. So now we can say that the period which is given as T is equal to number, or time taken is what? Time taken is 38 all over number of oscillation is 20. Okay. So at this point we can, the easiest way to do this, without calculator is you can reduce this number to lowest term. So 2 goes into this 38. That is going to give us 1 and 9. All over 2 goes into 20. That will be 10. So when you are dividing a number by 10, like when the denominator is 10, you can just move this 10, move one decimal place here. Okay, since it is 10. So the answer is going to be 1 0.9 seconds. That is the period. So now question number 6. Question number 6. So let's see what the question says. A body of mass 7.5 kg is to be pulled up along a plane which is inclined at 30 degrees to the horizontal. If the efficiency of the plane is 75%, what is the minimum force required to pull the body up the plane, given that G is equal to 10 meter per second square? So now, to calculate this question, what they actually ask us to calculate here is the effort. So the effort is the minimum force that we are asked to calculate. Now from this question, let us find the load. We are given the mass of the body to be 7.5 kg. So we can say that mass is equal to 7.5 kg. Okay. Now, if mass is equal to 7.5 kg, then we can say that the load is the same thing as weight. Load is equal to weight, and weight is equal to mass times acceleration due to gravity. So we can therefore say that the mass is what? Mass is 7.5 times G is what? G is 10. So multiply 7.5 by 10, you are going to have 75 Newton. So this 75 Newton is the load. So we can say that load is equal to 75 Newton. Okay. So now let's go to efficiency. What is efficiency? Efficiency, as given in the question, efficiency is what? 75%. So efficiency is equal to 75%. And we know that efficiency is equal to mechanical advantage all over velocity ratio. That is efficiency. Mechanical advantage all over velocity ratio. And velocity ratio is equal to 1 all over sine theta. So the sine theta is the angle, like here now. The sine theta is this angle, 30 degrees. So we can say that velocity ratio is equal to 1 all over sine 30. So that will give us velocity ratio is equal to 1 all over sine 30 is 1 over 2, or you can say 0.5. Now 1 divided by 0.5. Now to make this 0.5 a fraction, we can multiply it by 10 since it has 1 decimal place. So as you multiply it by 10, you also multiply this 1 by 10. So that will give us 10 all over 5, which is equal to 2. Okay, that's 2. So the velocity ratio is equal to 2. Therefore, we can say efficiency. Efficiency is what? 75%, which is equal to mechanical advantage all over velocity ratio. Now, our velocity ratio is what? 2. So we can plug in the 2 here. Okay, so 75% means 75 all over 100, which is equal to mechanical advantage all over 2. So at this point, you can cross multiply. So this is going to give us mechanical advantage times 100, which is 100 mechanical advantage, which is equal to 75 times 2 is 150. So at this point, to get the value of mechanical advantage, we divide both sides by 100. So 100 will cancel 100, then mechanical advantage is equal to 0 cancel 0. So now we have 15 divided by 10. So move this 1 decimal point, move 1 decimal place here. So we have 1.5 as the mechanical advantage. Now we are asked to calculate the effort, minimum force. So we can say that mechanical advantage is equal to load all over effort. So we now know what the mechanical advantage is. That's 1.5. So we can plug in 1.5 here equal to load. Now our load is what? Our load is 75. So we say 75 all over E. So we are looking for this E. So we can divide here by 1. So we cross multiply. So 1.5 times E, that will give us 1.5 E equal to 75 times 1. That will give us 75. Okay. So at this point, we can divide both sides by 1.5. Divide here by 1.5. So 1.5 will cancel 1.5 here. So E will be equal to, now 75 divided by 1.5. So to move away this decimal point, we can multiply this by 10, multiply this one by 10 also. So that will be 750 all over 15. Okay. So if you want to further divide it, like bring it down to lowest term, you can say 5 goes into this, 5 goes into 750. You can say 5 goes into 7, that's 1 time. Remember what? Remember 2. Take that 2 to this 5, that will be 25. 5 goes into 25, that will be 5 times. Then 5 goes into 0, that is 0. All over 5 goes into 15, that will be 3 times. So now we can say 3 goes into 15. How many times? 3 goes into 15, that's 5 times. So we have 5. 3 goes into 0, that is 0. So the effort is going to be 50 Newton. That's the minimum force required to move the load.